Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and sentient robots. My name is Nick, and this broadcast is brought to you in glorious GOLDMANvision. Today's episode, Marvel's Daredevil on Netflix Series Review. 13 episodes of Marvel's Daredevil, and all I want is more. While I certainly expected something of higher quality than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Agent Carter in Netflix's Daredevil, I did not expect lead actors Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio to carry the show to such incredible heights. Charlie Cox, a relatively unknown when compared to some of the other cast members. I mean, hell, even that dude from the Mighty Ducks was more recognizable. Cox was previously cast in Boardwalk Empire, as well as Stardust, and one of these examples is a clear comparison to his portrayal as Matt Murdock. One is not. Now, Stardust may have done terribly domestically, making only about $38 million, but it actually killed it in box offices worldwide, making 3 times that amount. Between Stardust and Boardwalk, not only did Stardust make Charlie Cox a viable option as Daredevil due to its commercial success, but also, look at him, he's freaking gorgeous. Now, Boardwalk Empire actually showed us Charlie Cox's darker side. Now, check out this scene where he faces off against Richard Harrow. It's absolutely badass. I mean, he goes up against one of the most ruthless guys in the show, pushes a gun right up into his face and says, "I'm not gonna take this shit anymore." And not only that, but he gains Richard's respect. Unfortunately, this article is not about Boardwalk Empire, so we gotta move on. Now, Charlie Cox, he swoons, he smacks, he talks, he walks, and does some crazy parkour shit as well. Daredevil fight coordinator Philip Silvera has been acclaimed all over the internet for his work with cinematographer Michael J. Lloyd in episode 2, right here, where the Daredevil known as the Men in Black takes on not 1, not 2, not 3, but 8 Russian thugs, and this scene is portrayed in one continuous shot, no cuts, even though the series editors Jonathan Chibnall, Monty DeGraff, and Michael Inu should be credited with great fight scene editing. They're all wonderfully edited, but this one fight scene in particular lasts 5 whole uninterrupted minutes. Now, unfortunately, this is one of the only truly cinematic shows in the series. I mean, it feels undeniably television, and that's a standard I imagine that Netflix wanted to surpass, but only kind of does with the tone of the show. Now, right from the start, you've been thrust into a well-crafted world. I mean, the characters have motives, they feel the repercussions of each other's actions. Matt, for instance, can't go out moonlighting as Daredevil without getting his bruises questioned the next day. These types of details make following Matt Murdock through the story very tense and very gripping. You'll say one more episode after watching 3 in a row just because you don't know how much blood Daredevil lost, and you want to see if he makes it in the next episode. I mean, that's how real it is. I mean, getting hit in the throat makes people choke and gasp and makes them faint from the pain after struggling to breathe for a while. The blood and bone is thick, and kudos to the showrunners for using practical effects in this regard. I mean, the bones protrude from skin and the limbs twist in all kinds of directions. The violence may be on par with HBO's Game of Thrones, but it's nowhere near as graphic. I mean, the same types of injuries and tortures occur, but just slightly off camera and only occasionally giving you a glimpse at the grotesque. Now, the show's art directors, Tony Barton and Allison Froling, do a good job at showing the sets are gritty, but as a native New Yorker, it's a little bit inaccurate. It's not my hometown. The cast and the extras seem very un-New York at times, except for Rosario Dawson. She's definitely had a slice of Two Bros Pizza at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday. This inaccurate New York isn't due to bad set design, but rather failure to properly recognize and characterize the city and its writing. And the poor post-processing means the colors don't pop where they should, only where they shouldn't. Now, what shines? I mean, unfortunately, I can't tell you much more without spoiling this fantastic show, but it's a love-hate relationship, but it's like your grandma. I mean, sure, she used to bake you incredibly delicious pies all the time, but she also used to kind of annoy you when she kept buying the same action figure over and over again. And that's kind of what's happening with these shots. They're established, then reestablished, and reused 30 times, and it feels, as I said, undeniably television. A simple color grading or just a different light gel would have made things look different. Surely Nelson and Murdock's law office should have looked different at night than it does in the day, right? Nope, it only happens in Matt's apartment, which truly does feel different each time we return, and that's a sign of high quality. the aspects of the set change to reflect the emotional tone of the show. And Grace Randolph of Beyond the Trailer actually stated that the show appeared in visual quality like a student film, and as the student film kind of got better as the semester got on, or the season continued in this case. And I'd have to agree with this analogy, but the show, don't get me wrong, does have its own cinematographic moments. If I had to give it a 10 level rating, I'd have to give it a 7.5, but then enter Wilson Fisk, who threatened me with decapitation and the disembowelment of my loved ones. And he bumped that score right up to an 8.5. Hey, okay, let's give him a 9, okay? Because Vincent D'Onofrio's portrayal of Wilson Fisk is one of the best in comic book history. He's terrifying, he's menacing, and he's kind. I mean, with the introduction of a love interest, I mean, we see a young child within Fisk who's crying out to be saved from a traumatic past. And hey, that's all I can tell you. That's it. Dynamic is all I'll say. Now, the plot is tight, and it manages to include real-world problems in the mix that enter our minds when reading the ink. I mean, like, how do they do this? How do they do that? The use of the media, the law, and even interrogation manipulation techniques are very well realized and definitely cause a lot of holy shit, I think I read that in the newspaper last year moments, while still maintaining a fantastical feel that one superpowered human could punch another guy through a fucking building and cause a real problem for a suffering neighborhood. The story takes form of a mystery in which Matt Foggy and Karen Page play gumshoes to unravel a conspiracy, and in a nice, very non-ham-fisted way, it ties into the Avengers. I'll say no more. Whether you're still on the fence of whether you should see Daredevil on Netflix, or you've already seen it and don't know what to think, or totally know what to think and you want to see if we agree, you can watch my episode review guide where we go through every single episode in great detail, what was good, what was bad, and what was daring. But until then, my name is Nick. This broadcast is brought to you in glorious GOLDMANvision and presented to you by Nerdfeed. Nerdfeed is the largest growing social network in the universe. And if you are catching this video from Nerdfeed, well, then awesome, man. Welcome to the club. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching our video on Daredevil. We, like I said, plan on doing many more. If you'd like, we did a video on the Infinity Stones right there. You can click on that and check out that video. We also did a video on Pantsless Man, a rare character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You may have to really look around in the different frames to see, but he's an amazing superhero, and you should remember him. We're gonna be releasing a whole bunch of stuff coming out real soon, and hope to see you guys soon. Bye-bye.